Hello everybody, this is Dr. Stephanie, your double board certified critical care physician who works with physicians that are struggling with their jobs, burnt out with their careers, or who just want some career advice. Through my books, webinars, coaching, and speaking, I help physicians discover alternative jobs and careers in medicine so that they can practice medicine on their own terms. I am doing this video tonight, which is kind of just an informational session about myself at the request of a friend and colleague of mine, Dr. Jatu Senesi. She works with physicians who are undergoing career transitions, and she asked me to speak a little bit about my locums work and my journey to being a locums doctor. So she emailed me some questions that she wanted me to answer. So we're going to go ahead and do that so that I can just tell you a little bit about myself and how I got to be where I am. The first thing we're going to talk about is what things were like for me when I got my first job right out of fellowship. And I am a critical care physician. I trained at the University of Pittsburgh. And my first job out of fellowship was with a private pulmonary group in a suburb of Pittsburgh. And that was quite a transition for me because I was coming from an academic medical center, the University of Pittsburgh, which is world-renowned for their critical care training. So I was coming from an academic center into a private practice setting as the first intensivist that they hired. And so that was a tough transition for me. And it was a tough transition, I think, for the practice and for the hospital because it was a community-based practice, a smaller community hospital, which was not used to having critical care intensivists in their facility. So that was a difficult transition. And needless to say that job did not work out well, and I ended up leaving after 9 months. And as a result of that, of course, I was devastated because it was my first job as an attending, and it just didn't work out. So I started doing some moonlighting, started doing some locums. I had a couple of entrepreneurial opportunities that I wanted to explore, and my mother suggested that I go back to school to get my MBA, which I did. So while I was getting my MBA, I started doing locums work as a critical care physician, and that's kind of how I fell into doing work as a locum tenens critical care doctor. So the next question I was asked was, when did I realize that I wanted something different? I realized that I wanted something different really soon after I started working. When my first job didn't work out, I realized that I wanted to explore other interests besides being a physician. And so that's why I went back to school to get my MBA, opened up a business. I explored different entrepreneurial interest, and that's why I decided to do locums, because locums gave me the freedom and flexibility to do my own schedule, just to explore life outside of being a physician. So that's really how I kind of fell into doing locums, and I can say that after having done locums for almost 10 years, it's something I'm going to do for the rest of my career because I absolutely love it. How do I describe locums? Well, let me see I don't know what, I can't even read my handwriting. Y'all forgive me because I scribbled down these questions, so forgive me. But she also wants me to answer, how did I know locums was better for me than the traditional critical care practice? This is how I decided that locums was better for me. As an employed physician, there are a lot of things that you don't have control over. An employment contract is very restrictive in terms of the type of work you do, how you do your work, your scheduling, your pay, and it's also very restrictive in terms of what you can do outside of work. And I just decided that I didn't want to give any person or any organization that much control over my life. to control not only what I do during working hours, but to control and place restrictions on what I do outside of working hours. And that is why I decided that working as a locums doctor, which means I can work as an independent contractor, was the right thing for me to do, because I am not bound by all of those restrictions. So it really works for me. I can work as much as I want or as little as I want, and there's no restrictions into what I do on my own personal time. A traditional critical care practice, or moreover, a traditional employment practice, like I said, has so many restrictions about what you can and cannot do. And so therefore, I just decided that for me, having control was very important, and that's why I work as a critical care doctor, and that's why I'm so passionate about locums work. That's why I'm so passionate about helping other doctors define what works for them. And at first, when I started doing locums work, I felt really bad because I didn't know any other doctors that were doing locums work full time, and I thought that there was something wrong with me when my employed positions didn't work out. I really thought that, I was the one that was lacking, but in reality of the situation, those positions weren't a good fit for me. And so when I found that, based on my personality, that working as a locums physician worked for me, I finally found that sweet spot in terms of I can have my professional enjoyment with my job, but I also can have personal enjoyment and personal freedom. And I found for me what happens to be the best life-work balance. And that's why I'm so passionate about this and want to help other physicians find their ideal work-life balance. Traditional medicine, traditional employment is not for everybody. And luckily, in this day and age, because medicine is changing so rapidly, practice models are evolving every day, that there's so many different opportunities for physicians to work. You can work full-time, you can work part-time, you can work for yourself, you can work as a combination. In some places you can have an employed position and also do some moonlighting. You can work from home. Telemedicine is exploding. You can do non-clinical work. You can start your own business and whatever you want to do. And you can always go back to school to get a new skill set to redefine yourself. So I just want to help everybody to be encouraged to know that you are not stuck. You're never stuck. You always have options. And if you can consider any kind of possibility, then you can make it work. So that is why I'm here, to help people just realize that you're not stuck. You don't have to be burnt out. You can take control of your life by taking control of your career. So this was just a little bit about Dr. Stephanie. I hope this gave you some clarity and some understanding about who I am, the work that I do with physicians, and why I am here. So please go to my website, www.drstephanieicu.com. For the physicians that are watching who are interested in learning more about locums work, please feel free to contact me. Contact me on Facebook. And for those of you who are seriously interested in locums work, please be sure to go to www.locumslifeacademy.com, because I have an online locums academy that offers video, audio, and a workbook so that you can learn how to practice medicine on your terms, on your pace. This is Dr. Stephanie. Thank you for joining me, and bye-bye.